guys, it's Debbie with Kip's Corner. Welcome back. And for my new subscribers, welcome aboard. This is part 2 of kind of a beginning to end journal put together. The theme of the journal, if it has a theme, it's going to be nature themed, but my plan is that the inside and the outside of the journal will be black and white and distressed. Black and white and vintage photo. So that's the idea. This is part 2. In the first part, I just sort of showed you some of the sheets and the cutouts and the die cuts and things that I have to play with, and I started work on the cover. I took this was an old Reader's Digest condensed book cover that it was gutted, of course, and the actual cover was kind of starting to fall apart. So I reinforced the outer spine with some bookbinding tape, or maybe it's just book tape. I don't know what it's called. I will double check. And covered it with some fabric. This is a beautiful paisley. It's an upholstery fabric, and of course it's blacks and grays and creams and browns. And then I put some texture paste, some modeling paste through a stencil on top of a piece of chipboard. This is just a piece of chipboard that I had painted with black gesso. Put that on there, let it dry, and then put another coat of black gesso on top. And now I've got some pieces here. Here, let me clear this away, get this out of the way. I've got some pieces here, and I've got this, things are falling. I've got this chipboard and some more chipboard pieces and just some baubles and some things in here, some of which I've already put a coat of black gesso on. And you'll see what I'm gonna do once it's all laid down. So there's just some metal pieces, some wood pieces, some chipboard pieces, a button. Yeah. So we're gonna make a little collage here and play. And I started to play a little bit already. I have an idea of what I want to do here. So let me see if it's going to work. This was a circle. It was just a bigger one of this that I took the edge off, and I'm going to glue that down. And I think I was going to start with that as my base. Once I get everything glued down, and yet another coat of black gesso on top of everything. So right now, if you see little kind of pieces where it's not full coverage, that's fine. There's going to be another coat over it. Then once that all dries, I will come back over this with Metallique silver wax and highlight spots of the wax with the wax. I can't talk. And the idea then is to adhere that to the front of my book and have a little mixed media collage on top of the book. We'll see if it works. If it doesn't, we'll fail together, right? Okay. Or no, I'll fail and you'll get to watch me. There are no rights and wrongs with any of this. It is what it is. You just have fun, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to start with getting this little guy glued down. I have different glues that I use for different purposes. If I'm going to be working with metal, which a lot of these pieces are, I glue them down with glossy accents. In this case, this is chipboard and chipboard on top. I'm going to glue that down with, let me think about this. I think I'm going to glue that down with the art glitter glue because it's a paper to paper. And the beauty of art glitter glue is you can see the back of it. See, I don't paint the back. Why would I do that? The beauty of art glitter glue, is that it gets all over the place. Whoa, don't want that. Goodness gracious, it's not supposed to be that runny. Okay, let's try this again and see what the deal is here. I'm going to kind of glue this off to the side on top of so I don't drip on anything on on my piece, and I'm just going to come along all of these lines here and try to get a nice coverage. In this particular case, this dries clear, so if I ooze out just a little bit, that's okay. But I do want a good solid coverage here. I do want it to adhere and be very strong because this is going to be the outside of the book. Once I'm done adhering everything and putting everything down, I will seal it with probably a matte spray. What's it called? Not epoxy, but a matte varnish spray that will seal it all up. This takes just a minute to kind of go around all the edges here. And that's good, I think. Again, it's okay, and you can see on my board here, this is the word "the," got a little goober, and I'm gonna go right on top of that, like so. And get this right to the edge. I've said this before, I'll say it again, I am not a neat crafter. I'm a messy crafter. That's okay. All of this I will be going over with another coat. Let me just sort of dab some of this up. Yeah, oh well. It's just glue everywhere. I'll be going over this with another coat of black gesso. Okay, I think that's down pretty good, and I'm to the edge here. Okay. Now, I want to play. I'm thinking that this Imagine lays kind of there. We'll have to play with, let's see, it might need to go. Gotta play with that. Figure out how to build that up a little bit. And I've got this leaf I want to put, actually I wanted to put that up underneath there. Not a problem. I like that. Yeah, I like that. So let's glue that guy down. Let's glue that. Okay, that's metal, so I'm going to use glossy accents. See if my glossy accents is open here. Got a little bit of goober up in the top. Yep, it's fine. Okay, I'm gonna glue that down with glossy accents. I'm gonna stay pretty. Glossy accents dries glossy, and even though I'm going to go over this with black gesso again, I would rather not this ooze out on me. So I'm going to kind of keep the glue to the centers there to the best of my ability, which is not that great. Okay, get down in there. I'm just smearing it around now. I'm not actually adding any more glue here. Okay. I want to put this guy right there. And that just needs a minute. You can see the gloss there. Well, and I can't get to it. There we go. A little bit there. This takes a little bit longer to set up, so I want to put some pressure on it for a minute here while it adheres. Okay. Now, where do I want to go from here? I think I like the idea of Mr. Butterfly being up there. And I do like the idea of this being here. But I got to figure out... And I want this guy on here. But I don't want it to wobble. So I might have to come down a little lower. Maybe. Gonna have to play with that. That might work. I'm gonna paint this black too, so more to come on that. Then I've got another leaf here that I thought might look good. Maybe it needs to go in here. Leaves on top of each other. Oh, starting to work. Although I really like the idea of that piece kind of setting in there too. Well, this is so right. So this is how I do this. I just move things around and pull out some things that I like until I get to a point where I think, by George, I've got it. But, you know, there's not a right or wrong way of doing this. I say that 1,000 times, and I will say it 1,000 more. It's just a matter of coming up with what you like or what pleases you. Maybe that goes on top. And then this goes here. Oh, that might work. Now you have to imagine, get the word, imagine. You have to imagine that all of this is black. Oh, I do like that. So these pieces that are silver will not stay that way. I will keep this button. This is an ivory or pearly kind of top to the button and a silver edge. I will keep that there, and because of that, I will put it on that'll be the last thing I do. But I do want to get an idea for where it might go. Okay, my leaf over here is not sticking yet. I thought it was, so I need to put some pressure on here. And just push that down for a minute. You don't have to pre-paint these. I did just because because of the layering. I knew that I would not have success in getting up underneath these pieces. So the pieces that I knew for certain that I was going to use, I went ahead and put a coat of black gesso on them. And as I said, I think I said that, I will go back over this with another coat and it'll clear up all the glue and, you know, whatever else I've got on here. The mess. We'll clean up the mess. I don't know, I kind of like the way that works. So I'm thinking maybe. Let's just paint up this guy. This is the fun part because you get paint all over you, at least I do. Have I said I'm not a neat crafter? Yeah, I have. Because I'm not. And now I'm just babbling. Okay. What's going to happen here? Well, what's going to happen here is I'm going to make a bigger mess. What's going to happen here is that I'm going to be highlighting. When I rub the wax over this, it will highlight. Okay, now I have paint all over me. The raised spots. And hopefully it will look good. It doesn't right now, I know it's a mess. Okay, we're gonna let that dry while I decide where I want this guy to go. I know, I really like the idea of these, oh, do I want it at an angle? Ooh. If I hit that plane like that, I get the height, the support behind it from this secondary piece, and then this is raised up a little bit, so I think that's nice. But I'm a go straight across with the words kind of person, so I'm not sure that I like that. But that's not going to be stable enough. So I want to keep in mind that this needs to be stable. So I've got to build up underneath this so that this has enough surface underneath it that this won't get smashed once it's completed. So while I like the layering there, I'm a little nervous about this. I do want to use this word though. So maybe it goes down first. Now see, then that's going to cause a problem there so that it sticks nicely. These little leaves, they started off being, I think you can kind of see, they started off being like a copper color. Very pretty. I think they're from Finnabair. I think they're from Finnabair. I think. Finnabair? Oh, I don't know how it's pronounced. Anyway, they're really pretty, but they have this little loop at the top, and so part of what I'm doing here is hiding that loop. I could probably cut that off, but as a matter of fact, I might on this one, depending on where I end up putting it, if I end up putting it on here at all. Okay, that feels pretty secure. And my rose over here is still kind of wet, so let's wait on that. So let's go back to this whole idea here about how to, I don't know, that gives it the most stability, I think, there. But I just don't know if I like the whole at an angle thing. And I don't want it skewed to where it looks like it's crooked, because there'll be plenty on here that's crooked. Oh, I have an idea. Watch this. Okay, I'm going to snip this apart. And I'm going to snip, why didn't I think of this before? This apart. And I'm going to put one there. Let's see. Okay, I think that might be it. There we go. Ta-da! We'll go up just a little bit higher. There, now I've got both of my circles. I've got the support behind the Imagine that I need. And from here, I can kind of play with some other things to do. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Maybe? It's hard to do this because it's not going to look anything like this when it's done. So it's kind of hard to, you just have to really keep an open mind, if you will, about, oh, I'm kind of liking that. Okay, but here's what I want to do. I want this, let's just get this glued down. I want this to stop here. Okay, I know this has got to be just the most fun video in the world, watching me glue things. It's kind of like watching paint dry, right? Watching glue dry. Okay, so the whole idea was to get enough support behind this Imagine that it doesn't get wobbly. We've got a little wobble here on the E, but I don't foresee that as being a huge problem. It's not enough to break it, and this is pretty flexible. This is also chipboard. This is thicker than these little circle pieces were, so it's from 2 different places. And no, I have no idea. This is stuff that's been in my stash. One of the things I'm trying to do is put this book together without getting anything extra. We'll see how that works. So I'm trying to stay away from the stores. Well, that pops that way up, doesn't it? No, that's not a good idea. What else do I have in here? I got another button, a little hinge. That's not going to work. Okay. Now I have to decide what I want to do. That might look kind of cool. Odd as it is, I did want you to see my process and how I kind of think through. I move stuff around until I get to a point where I'm happy with it. And then once I'm there, once I'm in a happy place, there's no going back, of course, at that stage, because you've already, it's glued. Ah, you're done. Okay. So while that's happening, I think I will go ahead and get some black on this guy. And I know, I didn't hate it as brown, especially with the cover that I'm using, but with what I'm going to do, and you'll see, I've told you already what I'm going to do, but you'll see what I'm talking about here soon. With that idea in mind, the basis of this is everything laying down here. You start with a completely black slate, and then we'll go from there. Doesn't matter whether I'm doing it right or wrong in somebody's eyes. It just doesn't matter. That's not important. That's not what this is about. I do, to the degree that I want the piece to be sturdy and look good and not be falling apart and, you know, that kind of thing. All right, I'm getting a little bit more gesso here because I ran out on my little pile. I'm trying to get these edges of where I cut that chipboard. Make sure that there's no chipboard showing. No chipboard left behind. Right now? Okay. Mr. Imagine, there you are. You go right there. Now, are you straight? No, because I don't ever put anything on straight. Okay, I think that's good. Okay. I think I like that. I'm not done by no means. But you can see I've got my little eye, the edge of the eye kind of is tucked right there where that piece met. There'll be a button down here that will cover that, and this one is flush enough that it doesn't bother me. So I'm okay with that. I've got good stability behind the word Imagine, so it's not going to, I don't think it's going to break at all. And I got my metal pieces glued down nicely, finally, here and here. And now I am just about ready to start playing with, and I might try to find, just so there's not, well, we'll see what this looks like when I get there. And I also might put some, I'm thinking about maybe putting in some crackle. Yeah, let's do that. Let's put some crackle paste on the edges of this. If I'm doing a mixed media piece, I need to actually use a bunch of different media, right? This is Art Extravagance texture paste. It's white crackle. And don't let the white words scare you, because what I'll do is I'll put this on. This particular paste, as it dries, it cracks, and it's just a beautiful texture. But it does need to air dry. It's not something that you would want to necessarily hit with a heater or a dryer or a heat gun. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, heat gun. So I'm going to put this on a couple corners, down the edge maybe, and there, I just put my lid on. Oops, let it dry overnight. We'll come back. I'll hit a coat of black gesso on everything, including the crackle paste I'm getting ready to lay down. And then I will play with wax. So hopefully this is, let's see, let's get a smaller amount here. Let's not go overboard. I'm thinking I like the idea of there being some here and kind of coming around the edge. And I want to get it on the edge. And I'm just gonna play here with getting some texture on there. See, let's kind of come in this corner here. That's cool, right? Now let me get a little thicker. Whoops, too thick. There we go. I like that. And then how's about we do the same thing down here in the corner. And hopefully this will have the cool texture. Oops, you're making a mess. Should add a nice little something, something. And I don't want that too neat. There we go, that's better. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the thicker this is, the better, the more cracking you get. So let's lay it on thick. But it also takes longer to dry, so there's that. But that's okay, I'm gonna set this overnight. Okay, so hopefully you can begin to see what I'm doing here. If not, or even if you can, bear with me, stay with me. I will continue to play with this cover and get some texture in there. And hopefully it'll end up being something that's nice when I'm done. So there you have it. We're gonna drop there, or stop, drop around and roll, whatever. We're gonna stop there, and when I come back to you next, I will be working on getting the metal wax on here. And the dogs are playing. It sounds like they're not, but they are. Sorry about that. All right, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for part 3 coming up. And once we get done with the cover, I think part 3 I'll be able to finish the cover, hopefully. And then we'll dive into the guts. It won't be not finish the cover, because you don't finish the cover until the, whatever. Just stay with me, bear with me, keep watching. I think that this will end up being something that I'm really happy with and proud of when we're done. We'll see. That's the plan. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.